Hello everyone, welcome back to another tutorial. It's another beautiful day. Hope you're doing good. Thank you so much guys for always coming back. So in today's video, I'm going to be teaching us how to make this beautiful short dress. This is what we're going to be making today. We'll be using organza fabric for this tutorial. I'll be using less than 2 yards of organza fabric. We're cutting out the front and the back together. As you can see, it's a shirt dress. So if you're making a shirt dress, the back is always longer than the front. So this is the back. It's folded into two. This is the front, is also folded into two. The back will be 1.5 inches longer than the front. So I have my 2 inches here. This is for the button overlap. I will fold this button overlap inside. I will pin it. I've pinned the 2 inches inside. That's my button overlap. So I just place it like so. So after I finish placing the measurement, I will add 1.5 inches to the back side and reduce 1.5 inches from the front. I will cut 1.5 inches away from the front and add it to the back. So I will leave this first. We'll go ahead and place the measurements. So I'm supposed to be cutting out the half length before cutting out the down part. So I'm going to be cutting both of them together. Then later on, I will explain everything to you guys. This is folded inside already. The length of the dress is 37 inches. I'll be adding extra 4 inches to it because I'll be using 2 inches for the folding at the waistline and 1 inch to fold the button and the ½ inch to join it at the upper part. So I added about 4 inches to it. So we have 41 inches now. I'll be cutting the shoulder and the sleeve together. The shoulder measurement I'm working with is 14 inches. Divided by 2 is 7 inches. Now I'm taking 3 inches for the wideness of the neck. That's the neck width. I will take 1 inch for the back depth. And 3 inches for the front depth. This is the front depth, and then this is the back depth. Cutting the sleeve and the shoulder together. This is my 7 inches for the shoulder measurement. I will add extra 10 inches to the shoulder. This is 10 inches. Then I will add another 2 inches to it, making it 12 inches. So I'll use 2 inches for folding, and the 10 inches will be for the sleeve. I'll mark 12 inches here. Right on this place, I will go down by 1 inch. That's the shoulder slope. So I will connect it right from the neckline here. I'll mark 12 inches for the arm opening. And from the shoulder slope, I'll mark 12 inches for the arm opening. So this is my 12 inches. It's not a tight sleeve. I want it to be very free. From her shoulder to waist is 17 inches plus sewing allowance. So I'll be adding extra 2 inches to it. I'll be using these 2 inches for folding. I will explain these 2 inches to you guys later on. So I added 2 inches extra to it. So I'll place her waist measurement right on this 19 inches. Her waist measurement is 33 inches. Divided by 4 is 8.25. So I'll mark 8.25 here. So I'm going to be adding a stripe to this place for the folding. I'm going to be adding stripe to it. So I want it a little bit free, a little bit bogus. I will add 4 inches to it. I will add 3 inches for ease and 1 inch for sewing allowance. So that's 4 inches. This is the arm opening. So I'll use the curve ruler to curve it right from the arm opening, curve it to the waistline. Supposed to add the bust measurement here. I don't think I'll be needing it because the chest line is very free here. So our bust measurement is 14 inches. Divided by 4 is 10 inches. As you can see, it's more than 10 inches. It's a bit free. So we're done with this waistline. And this is the curve here. So I will go to the down part. I'm supposed to mark her hip line here, but I'm not going to be doing that. Instead of me placing her hip measurement here, I will go to the button and place her hip measurement. Hip measurement is 44 inches. Divided by 4 is 11 inches. I will add extra 6 inches to 11 inches, making it 17 inches. So I will go to the length here. So I will go to the down part here and mark 17 inches. I added extra 6 inches to it. I will connect it right from the waistline here to the down part where I place the hip measurement. What I will do first is to cut out this down part. I will work on this upper part now. I will cut out the shoulder slope. I'm cutting out the front shoulder slope. I'll be adding 1.5 inches to the back side. So I'll mark 1.5 inches right from the upper part here. Before I will cut out the neckline. I just cut out the front shoulder slope. So I'll mark 1.5 inches. That is to the back side. And the back neck depth is 1 inch. I'll cut it out now. So I will go ahead and cut out the front neck depth. Cutting out the sides. So we bring the front part out. So this is the button overlap for the front panel. Remember I said I'll be cutting out 1.5 inches from the front and add it to the back. So instead of me cutting out 1.5 inches, I will cut out 1 inch because I'll be using ½ inch for sewing allowance here. So I will mark 1 inch. So I have to measure it because it's not leveled. So I will cut out this 1 inch. I will split the button overlap open. We'll be cutting out the collar and the collar stand later. So we'll set this aside. I will move over to the down part. Remember I folded this side also into 2. So I'll open it up also. I want the front and the back to be equal. That is the down part. So I will fold it like so. I will cut out the excess fabric there. So you see the folded edge. I will cut this out. I will make sure the front and the back are equal. So the front and the back are equal now. And we're done with the cutting. We'll go ahead and put the fabric together. We'll start with the upper part. I will go ahead and open it up. This is my 2 inches button overlap. So I will fold these 2 inches, then take ½ inch here, fold the 2 inches for the button overlap, fold ½ inch inside. I will sew it here. I'll do the same thing to this side also. So I finished sewing the button overlap. I'll go ahead and join the shoulders and the side together. So I will lay the front against the back. So don't worry about this side, as the back is longer than the front. By the time I finish joining the shoulders together, I will sew it and make sure they are equal. So I will use 1/2 inch to join the shoulders and join the side with 1 inch. This side and this side. So guys, I'm done joining the shoulders and the sides together. As you can see, this is the back side, so I press it forward, so the back and the front are now equal. So this is the side and this side. So before we move over to the down part, I would like us to attach the collar first. So we'll go ahead and measure the neckline. We'll use the measurement to cut out the collar and the collar stand. So fold it into 2. So this is the midpoint. I will make a notch here. So I folded into 2, the neckline. So I will measure it. I have 8 inches here. So when you open it up, it's 10 inches, but folded into 2 is 8 inches. So I'll go ahead and fold my fabric into 2. So I don't think I'll be adding interfacing to it. The fabric is too light. So first I will cut out the collar stand there before cutting out the collar. So I'll make sure this side is equal. So I'll mark 8.5 inches because I'll add 1/2 inch for sewing allowance. So this side is equal. I'll mark 8.5 inches here. My collar stand is 1 inch, but I will mark 1.5 inches. I'll add 1/2 inch for sewing allowance. This is 8.5 inches. So right on this side, I will go up by 1/2 inch. Now look for the midpoint of this 8.5 inches. 4 and 4.25. This is the midpoint. It's right from this 1/2 inch. I will mark it to this midpoint here. So I will curve it right from this 1/2 inch to this midpoint. I will curve here also from this side, curve it to meet this line. So I will cut it out. So this is my collar stand. I will cut out 2 of these. So go ahead and cut out the collar. So I will still mark 8.5 inches for the collar. And make sure this side is straight. The sewing allowance is 8.5 inches. I want my collar to be 2.5 inches after sewing it, but I will mark 3 inches. I'll add 1/2 inch for sewing allowance. So this is my 8.5 inches. So I will come inside by 1 inch here. Right on this side, I will come inside by 1 inch. So I will connect it right from the upper part here to meet this 1 inch. So I will come to this side. This is the midpoint. I will go inside by 1/2 inch. So I will connect this 1 inch. So I will connect it right from here to this 1/2 inch. We still curve it. It's not going to be straight. So I'll cut it out. So this is my collar. I will cut out 2 of these. I finished cutting the collar and the collar stand. I added a very light interfacing to one side of the collar and then one side of the collar stand. The fabric is too transparent, so I cut out two. I used one as a lining to cover up the back side so that the interfacing will not be showing on the other side. I did the same thing to this side. What we are going to do is to join the collar together, our right side facing each other. 1/2 inch is my sewing allowance, so this space I left here is my sewing allowance. I will sew it from here, sew this upper part here, and sew this side. I will leave this place open. So I will sew this straight line and this curved side will be left open. So I finished sewing the collar. I will cut out this excess fabric, make a cut here. I'll go ahead and turn it inside out. I'll go ahead and sew the collar to the collar stand. So this is the midpoint of the collar stand and then this is the midpoint of the collar. I will match them together and I will place one of the collar stand here and place this in the middle. The collar will be in the middle, then this one will be on top. This is the one I iron interfacing on. This one will be up and this one will be up also, the interfacing one. I sew 1/2 inch on this side because this is the side that we attach to the neckline. So what I will do is to use 1/2 inch to join the collar to the collar stand. I will sew it here, here, up to here. So I will sew it round. After I've done that, I will hem the sleeve. I added 2 inches for folding, so I will take my 2 inches, fold it inside like so. I will take 1/4 inch inside and hem it round. I will do the same thing to the other side. I finished sewing the collar stand and the collar together, so I will turn it like so. I've also hemmed the arm opening here. So what we are going to do is to attach the collar to the top. I will take this other side, so I don't have interfacing on this side. So this is the neckline. I will look for the midpoint of the neckline and the midpoint of this collar. So I will match them together, right side facing each other. I will take this side, take one side first. I will use 1/4 inch to join it here. After I've done that, I will use this one to cover up the stitch here. So I've sewn this side already. I will use this to cover up the stitch. I will sew it around the neckline. I'm done attaching the collar to the neckline. I will add my buttons here and make a button holes on this side. I will make 3 inches gap between each buttons. So this will be the first one, that will be the first one. From there, I will measure 3 inches. So this is the second one. I'll just make a little dot there. I'll mark 3 inches also again. And 3 inches. So this will be the last one. So I'll place my buttons here. My buttons will be on this side, while the button holes will be on this side. I will also make a line here to make the button holes. Remember, I added 2 inches to the waistline here. I'll be folding that 2 inches inside. So I will open it up, take my 2 inches, I'll fold it inside like so. So I will fold it around the waistline. This is my 2 inches. From these 2 inches, I will fold 1/4 inch inside and sew it round the waistline. So I'm going to be adding a stripe to this space here. Then join the damp parts together. This is the damp part. Now we lay them against each other, right side facing each other. I'll use 1 inch to join the side, starting from the waistline here to the bottom. I'll do the same thing on this side. So this is the damp part. I've finished joining them together. I've also sewn this place round. This is where I'll insert my stripe. I'll insert my stripe here. I made a little stitch here just to hold this to the other side. So we'll go ahead and join the upper part to the damp part. So what I will do is to take this inside. I will take this inside, right side facing each other. I will match the side seam. So I will go ahead and sew this to the waistline. So this is the space I made earlier. I will sew it round, use 1/2 inch to join them together round. I cut out about 60 inches stripe. This is the stripe, and 3 inches length. So I will fold this inside, and turn it to this side. Then I will sew it. I will sew it very close to the tip or close to the edge here. So I finished joining the upper part to the damp part. I've sewn the stripe. What we are going to do is to insert the stripe in this space. So this side is open and this side is open. So I'll take my safety pin and pass it through this side and then bring it out from the other side. So I'll pass it through this side. Pull it on this side and pull it on this side. You knot it. This is the damp part. I'm not going to be putting on the dresses for someone. That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching to the end. I will see you in my next one. Love you. Bye.